Going live. You're live. Oh, hello. I think I'm live. Bobby, am I live for you?
Yep. Oh, this is trippy because it's like a 5-second delay. Yeah.
5-second delay.
No. This is. Oh God.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Text me. We will look for things as they come in. Wait, I'm gonna go out as he goes in, and now I go in. Okay. Thank you. We're gonna play with the camera setup.
Okay, great.
It looks like we need more light. Can Bobby see us?
Yeah. Can you see us, Bobby?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye. This is so funny.
So I go here.
We're it's the distancing dance.
We're like it's like there's a magnetic field.
Waldorf and Sattler.
What does that mean?
Waldorf and Sattler. Here, I'm going to say something. Wait. Oh, brilliant! Excellent. Hello, friends. We are live. Sound off if you're here. We can welcome you. Welcome, everyone. We're trying to get set up. We wanted to get online a little bit early. We even put on our good working clothes. Get on a little bit early so that we all have a time for some socializing prior to going live. Thank you to Bobby for setting this up. I think the lighting is pretty okay. Yeah, we're going to make it work. The best, yeah.
It's a wonderful feeling. I don't know if anybody can hear me, but this, as I walk towards Stephen, it's like, woo, he disappears. And then as he walks towards me, I disappear. It's like we want to be exactly 7 or 8 feet apart.
Yep.
So this is kind of the way it works. Here we are in the TWC office. I don't know who's watching. Bethany, I see Bethany. Hello there. I can see Bobby. Marvelous. And we've come on a little bit early. Mind you, I wanted to do some scrolling to see who'd messaged, but I can't
touch my laptop.
I can't touch your laptop. Marvelous. You could be my glamorous assistant. I could summon my glamorous assistant to do some scrolling.
I thought this whole time that I was your glamorous assistant. But
oh well, that's something we can talk about at another time. Marvelous.
Excellent.
Still nothing working.
For those who are wondering, hi Jessica, hey Bethany, hey Bobby, hey everyone, welcome. We're online a few minutes early. How's the light? The light is pretty good. The light is pretty good. For those who are curious, I did bring snacks. These are TWC office snacks, so they are here for your virtual consumption. We have some European spice cookies, and we have some good old gingerbread snaps. So all of you concerned. And I share your concern for snack procurement. We have you covered virtually. Oh.
Right.
This is magic how this works.
Isn't it just? There's chocolate as well as those European snacks. There's like chocolatey things.
Those are from Mexico.
From Mexico. Bicolor. So they've got that kind of a dark chocolate on the outside, and then kind of milk, white chocolate in the middle, or whatever they call it. Hazelnut flavored cocoa praline.
Now that you've touched them, you're taking them home.
That's my entire plans. I've also touched the photocopier. Can I take it home? If I could get the photocopier to work.
Everything will be wiped down. Who else has joined us? Hey, Brad, Colin, welcome. Jessica wants to know, where is the wine? That's an excellent question. Well, you're looking at somebody who does not drink wine and somebody who I know does drink wine. Did you bring the wine?
There is no wine. there is no wine because I have gone back onto my Whole30 diet. And the Whole30 diet means that you cut out grains, you cut out alcohol, you check food for huge amounts of added sugar, you don't eat any legumes, and dairy. So no milk and no blah, 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 blah. So I'm on day 20. What day is today? 23rd. So day 23 of the diet. It lasts a whole month. And it makes you feel great because you're cutting out lots of things that kind of, it's a detox diet. But alongside that, you lose a little bit of weight. So I have lost a little bit of weight again, and I'm feeling very good on it. Here is our wipes for wiping down the computer and everything else.
Who just joined us at the bottom?
Who just joined us? Trisha Brown. Hello, Trisha. Faith has just joined. Yoo-hoo. Jessica. Oh, she's the one with the wine. I can quite see. Yep, there's no wine. Sherry, Karen Rappaport.
A lot of folks.
Somebody called Heat Waver.
Okay.
Not sure who Heat Waver is. Kelly.
Oh,
Yay.
Just came on. That's great.
Kelly Heat Waver. 1971.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Excellent.
We are providing appropriate social distancing. Please
Social
note.
distancing.
Yeah.
This is one of these moments where if I walk towards Stephen, he will disappear out the door. Having said that, you could do the other way around, and then I will disappear that way. Mary Lovejoy.
Oh, wow.
Laura Gross. Hello. Everybody's piling in. What time is it?
It's like 7:25. Let's see. It
Indeed,
says
indeed.
on the bottom right on the here. It says on the bottom right, over at the bottom right of the thing.
I know, but your watch
Oh,
says
my
a
watch is
different
wrong.
time.
My watch is wrong.
7:22.
7:22. We're early, but this is everyone's social time.
This is everyone. What we say, everyone's social time. They can they speak to each other in this chat room?
They certainly can. They can leave a comment, say hello.
People are saying hello. You can chat to each other. Deborah Sternberg, hello. I will want to be in touch with you, Deborah, soon because we want to talk about online. You're absolutely right. Karen says, I don't like it when people are late. You're absolutely right.
How right you are.
And no one has a reason to be late because no one got caught in traffic because there isn't any traffic. There's Kirby. Online lessons for sure. We'd love you, Deborah, to record some vocal warm-ups and some breathing exercises and to talk about. Jessica wants to know what chorus t-shirt Kirby is wearing.
That is a critical question. If Kirby, if you send me a message on Facebook, Kirby, watch. Oh, no, there he goes. Kirby, if you send me a message on Facebook or you text me with your current chorus photo, and I hope and perhaps assume that you're wearing a very cool chorus t-shirt, then I can share it with everyone like that. So feel free to. Hi, everyone. Hey, Karen, Deborah, Laura, Mary, Karen, Jessica, Faith.
Is Stephen recording attendance?
No, but Bobby is.
Bobby probably is, but not so much because so we can say who wasn't here. We just like to know how many people turn up for these events, and if there was kind of around 30, 35 did the one last week, and we're just looking to see. You're writing on the whiteboard.
Yeah, I was right. I was playing tic-tac-toe.
He's playing tic-tac-toe. Rebecca Bridges, hello, welcome. Bobby Scheuer is recording attendance. Thank you very much indeed. Attendance points. Yes, marvelous.
Christopher, what is your middle name?
My middle name is Philip.
With one L?
Philip. Philip.
Christopher Philip. You know that Philip is my father's first name.
Yep, I do.
Yeah.
And the reason it's Philip is I was born on St. Philip's Day.
Oh.
And my brother is Stephen Mark Bell.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, and he was born on St. Mark's Day.
That's wild. Well, my name is, but we've talked, yeah. But mine is really with a K.
Yes, and so, oh no.
Yeah.
But you changed it, why?
Because it looks better on letterhead.
And also with the surname, and it's It's iteration.
That's exactly
Excellent.
right.
Very good. Other people are Gary's home videos. What on earth is that?
Welcome.
Is that Gary Al or is it some side? What do St. Philip's and St. Mark Days commemorate? Excellent question. Time to Google the Google King. What is St. Philip's Day?
Is that am I the Google King?
Am I right thinking that St. Christopher has been desainted, which I take no responsibility for? Jerry Darling has appeared. Hello,
Welcome,
Jerry. Gary, is that Gary Alal? I wonder what Gary's home videos.
La Festa di San Marco, local public holiday, honor St. Mark, the patron saint of San Marco, coincides with Liberation Day.
Hey, Paul. It's Paul Lee. Now you're kind of far away. Are you in? You're somewhere with your grandmother. Is it California?
He's in North Carolina.
Are we really live? Who's SAH? Who is SAH? Are we really live? We're certainly live. Would you like me to throw this soggy wipe at Stephen?
No.
I can do that. Sandy Hoffman. Yes, we are. We're totally alive. Absolutely alive. Mark Rebstock, Paul Lee. Down in North Carolina. Brad Cullen wants me to throw this at you.
That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, no, because we've got to maintain totally
professional. Did you see Paul's grandmother?
Yes, I just said that. Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah,
it was very touching. Paul.
Hello, Christopher. Is there another Gary? I think you're absolutely right. I should. I
have a T-shirt photo from Kirby.
Okay, show it.
Yeah, we're gonna go. So Kirby Knight at 7:27. We're doing well. Kirby Knight has sent his music T-shirt of the week, his choral T-shirt of the week, which is this. If you can see it, look at that, Kirby. Well done. What is the meaning? Can you see the meaning from here? Nope.
It's just got some random notes, and there's a treble clef and a quarter rest, and now your screen's gone away.
Oh,
I don't think it means
anything.
Does it mean
something? See, rest, quarter rest, quarter fourth.
Music is life.
Oh, it does. Oh, if you look really closely.
Oh,
yeah, it does say music is life.
Okay, we got it. We got it. Chris Devine, hello, welcome.
Thanks for joining, everyone.
It's kind of funny because when I see the names here, I kind of think, oh, I saw them online earlier on in the day. Chris was telling us that the Nancy, hello. Chris was telling us that the sing-along with Bob Chilcott was suspended until October, I think, sometime like that. What time is it? 7:28.
We're doing pretty well.
Bobby, can you tell us how many people are here? Have you added them up?
They're look in the corner left.
Oh, corner left. 0 out of 200.
No. The corner up here.
Oh.
The number, the face number.
43. Yo.
That's great.
There's Likely. There's Griha.
Somebody's calling. Hello, welcome.
The home videos are of my 17-year-old grandson when he was only 3. He was very cute. Aha. Soprano 2's Woot Woot. Yes, October. Sing with Bob Chilcott.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So Stephen and I are socially distancing. I was trying to print Beethoven 9 out on the washing machine, but the printer is not working for me, so I'm not getting Beethoven 9 printed because I want to mark it up and then send it to people. Bobby's going to be in touch at some stage to find out if you have a score for Beethoven 9, and if not, we'll send you one as an online link.
This is a fabulous turnout. Great group of people.
46, marvelous.
Great. Yeah.
Thanks
for being here.
How many altos? Where are the rest of the altos? There's only two. There's only one tenor.
No. Kirby, Brad, me.
Well, no, you don't count. It's because Bobby the photocopier whisperer isn't. That's you.
What is me?
The Washington chorus.
No, but Bobby's commenting as that. That's not me in real
time. But Bobby's also. Yes.
Yeah. He's Stealth.
Marvelous.
Yep.
And of course, Mary is coming up as her married name. Lovejoy. Oh, it's Emma. Emma's the Washington chorus.
Emma. Hi, Emma.
Emma's the Washington chorus. Cool.
Hi, Emma.
7:30. There's Sean. Yay!
Welcome. Hello.
Catherine French says hello.
Welcome.
This is my hat because it was actually raining on the way down, and I didn't want to be standing in front of you, déshabillé.
Déshabillé.
Looking like I was dragged through a hedge backwards.
Oh.
Do you think Stephen and I would be a useful comedy duo?
Are we not already?
And someone is going to ask the question, which one of you is the straight guy? Ha ha ha. Which one's the comedy guy? So Ryan, there we go. Blah 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 blah. Now who is SD? Oh, here we go. Stephanie Roche, marvelous. Hello, welcome. Alison Cooper, marvelous.
55 now.
55. Keep going.
Amazing.
10 or 2 also. Excellent. Keep going.
Welcome.
Jolly fine. We decided we were going to wait till about 7:25, 7:35, I beg your pardon, before we start to give people to arrive. Just that little window of arriving a little later. Blah, blah, blah. Altar 1. 11 altar 1s at the minute.
Excellent.
Hi, Sam. Sam Zhao.
Welcome, Sam.
Marvelous. Jane Recker. More sopranos. It's not that the chorus is competitive or anything.
Not at all. Who is the section though that sponsored a song for St. Pat's? Because there was only one section that did that.
Which section sponsored the song for St. Patrick's Day?
That would be the tenor section.
I think you'd find it was the tenor section.
That's right.
We can find that out actually because
there's a program.
Right here.
It's true.
So when you come into the office, you can see we're surrounded in the office by all this really classy stuff. We had beads to give the audience. Here's the program. Oh, I beg your pardon. Here's the program. And of course, in the program, it tells us that the tenors were the sponsors of, which song was it? Do we know? Aha! I'll tell my ma when I get home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. Jolly good. Anyway, I have this as a souvenir, and no doubt if you wanted one for a souvenir, there's another bass too. Tenors, Peter Clooney, Brian Hill.
Welcome, Peter. Welcome, Brian.
Brian feels he's the best one.
Feels he's the best?
He feels he's the best tenor.
Oh, my.
Says here. Christopher, where's your St. Patrick's Day outfit? I was told it's epic. Well, have you checked out the Washington Chorus post on Facebook? On St. Patrick's Day, I wished everybody happy St. Patrick's Day. And then there's also my own Facebook post where I put the morning one and the evening one together. And so I had an outfit with electric lights on the glasses, on my, I think you call them suspenders, and on my bow tie, and on the hat, and everything else. And so that was my outfit.
I'm filming you being filmed.
You're filming me being filmed. All right, okay. Brian says he wasn't saying he was the best. He was saying the tenor section was the best.
Well,
because they had done.
Disagree with that.
Marvelous. Okay. Right. Indeed. Sorry to assume. Here we go.
What should we do? At 7:35? What is our plan? Are we talking first? Were you vocalizing first?
Hey. Lots of people have asked us, and of course, if you're on the interweb at all with anybody else who's in a choir, everybody asks, can we do a rehearsal online? And the answer is a pretty resounding not really. And it's to do with something called latency. And it's to do with the speed of your connection, the speed of our connection, the speed of your computer, the speed of our computer. And apparently, even though you set a pulse or you set a kind of a time, when you start something, unfortunately, the things get out of sync. So what we will be doing a little bit later on, there's Ben Gitterman. Welcome, Ben. What we will be doing later on, Stephen, we're up to 65. You realize that with the current membership, we've only got another, we usually get between 100 and 115 at rehearsal. There's usually people away for various reasons and this and everything else.
This is quite good.
So 65 to 115, only another 40 people need to arrive. Jess from Soprano Ones. Hi, Jess. Can't figure out how to switch to my personal account from work. Can't help that, I'm afraid. There's Stephen, base one. Good evening, all. Marvelous. Welcome. Stephen and I are practicing social distancing. It's been quite funny when he stands in front of the screen. If I come towards him, he just disappears.
Isn't that amazing how that works? We should. It's 7:36.
That's so.
Should we go? Do you want to go first? Do you want to welcome people first?
Well, if you stand a little bit in, just a little bit in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you were both in.
Yeah.
So on behalf of the executive management of the Washington Chorus, here we are in the office. It's still nice and bright. It's very colourful. It's got lots of St. Patrick's Day colours in it. Obviously, we're sorry that we're not all here and working, but everybody is working really hard at home. And we've been discovering the conferencing facilities of Microsoft Teams. And sorry, I am late. I was making my cocktail. Marvelous. This is the magic. Anyway, here we go. So I thought we would all sing around, and we would sing around, and I would give you a count in. I'll sing you a line, and we'll see what happens. This, of course, may be the moment, Stephen, when the 66 goes 65, 64, 63, 62, 61, down to 20, and they all go and make a cup of tea. And then when they come back after I've finished the round. But the round I thought we would do is sometimes what you're looking for. So I'll count you in. I'll sing it and count you in. Sometimes what you're looking for. Ready and go. Sometimes what you're looking for. Try it again and go. Sometimes what you're looking for. I really hope my neighbors like my voice. They're hearing a lot of it lately. I hope they're hearing it now. Sometimes what you're looking for. Go. Sometimes what you're looking for. Maybe nearer than you think it is. Maybe nearer than you think it is. Try that again and go. Maybe nearer than you think it is. Put both those lines together and off we go. Sometimes what you're looking for may be nearer than you think it is. This is a hard line now. When you're looking so high in the sky. Go. When you're looking so high in the sky. Try again. When you're looking so high in the sky. I wonder what this is like. This might be like, there might be like a 5-second delay. Who knows? When you're looking, we need the pencil. Oh. And by the way, that's Ben Gitterman says we need a pencil. So I'm not saying anything about that.
It's time to get a pencil. While we're getting a pencil, we just wanted to say thank you for being with us tonight. What a crazy time in the world, and it means a lot to have you with us. So thank you.
Over here, there's usually a bag of pencils, but Bobby must have them. I need Bobby to tell us where they are. Anyway, here we go. Ready, steady, go. Sometimes what you're looking for may be nearer than you think it is. Rebecca is complimenting my pencil. She says I've got a hefty pencil. Let's just keep it. It's a family show. It's a family show. Here we go. Thank you. Ready? Off we go. Sometimes what you're looking for may be nearer than you think it is. When you're looking so high in the sky. Go. When you're looking so high in the sky, you're missing what lies. You're missing what lies. You're missing what lies. You're missing what lies. Stephen, apparently the pencils are over here. You're missing what lies. Oh, so they are. You're missing what lies right at your doorstep. And go. You're missing what lies right at your doorstep. And sometimes what you're looking for may be nearer than you think it is. When you're looking so high in the sky, you're missing what lies right at your doorstep. My cat ran off when I started singing. Could you stand here, Stephen, 5.5 American feet away from me, and you could start, and I could sing in canon.
Okay.
So all the tenors and basses sing with Stephen. All the sopranos and altos sing with me for no reason other than that's what we're going to do. Ready and steady, and off we go.
Sometimes what you're looking for may be
Sometimes
nearer
what
than
you're
you think
looking
it
for
is
when you're looking
so high in the
down.
sky. Was that me?
No, it was me.
Oh, wow.
All right, okay. Ready. It's very hard to go second. Once again, I'm terribly sorry. And I need to let everybody know that normally I don't. My dog has started howling. Madeline Twomey has suddenly said, Dana, thanks for the idea. I don't not have a glass of wine with me. Welcome to Alto Life. Okay, ready? One last time. Let's see if we can get this together. Ready? I'm sorry about that. One and go.
Sometimes what you're looking for may be
Sometimes what you're looking for may be nearer than you think it is. When you're looking so high in the sky, you're missing what lies right at your doorstep. Sometimes what you're looking for. And now Stephen has crashed.
I forgot the lyrics.
I think this is a good time to stop. However, I'd like to pay tribute to Bob Bonestali. I don't see him here yet at the minute. But Bob Bonestali made me this. Now, those of you who remember, this is the Christmas thing where you go, ready, and off you go. Up a semitone now. Right, I've had enough of that. Thank you very much indeed. I'm going to move slightly to the side. I'm going to take my massive pencil over this way, and Stephen's going to ask a few questions and see. I have not been hitting the cocktails. Gary, when you were just before you arrived, someone had suggested that Stephen and I might be drinking wine. Deborah, I have a spare one, and if Bob Bonestali agrees, you may have my Patek, whatever that thing is. Somebody said whether Stephen and I would be drinking wine as we do this. Stephen doesn't drink, and at the minute I'm not drinking either because I'm on a detox diet, no dairy, no alcohol, blah, 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 blah. Stedlinger in the house. Hello, welcome. You'll need to ask somebody else why I'm holding a hammer.
Let's hear it for Christopher Bell. Amazing little warm-ups. This may be, at least in my tenure, the most unconventional warm-up we've ever had, and the most unconventional start of a rehearsal because we're allowed to start 6 minutes late, which has never happened, certainly under Christopher Bell's tenure. So we're just saying hello, welcome, hi Stedlingers, Kiplingers, and Karen and everyone. No Guinness cupcakes, unfortunately. So thank you for being here. Now it's Christopher's turn to be in the back. And we just want to say it means so much to have a chance to come together tonight. Tonight, we're just sort of playing to test some new possible directions. And so tonight is really kind of the first test of what this TWC Mondays will look like. We wanted this first one, Christopher, to be pretty loose, correct?
Yes, please.
We wanted it to be pretty loose for you so that it was enjoyable, fun, a chance to socialize, maybe a little bit of music. But we'll talk a bit more tonight about what the future for this series will hold, because we do want to make sure that we're continuing to make music together. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, we still want to make music together. We still want to make sure that we are giving you more, social space, certainly, but also a chance to challenge yourself musically at home, a chance to try out some new kind of ways of teaching in this era that we are in, at least in the short term. And so thank you for being with us tonight. And there are a couple things we're going to do with our time. We want to run this until 8:30, 8:45, do some more musical things, have some space for questions from you, have a chance to talk to you about what's happening inside TWC. And certainly, if you have questions, as we are live tonight here on TWC Mondays, just pop your question right there in the box, and we will make sure that we create some space to answer your questions, talk about whatever topics might come up for you this evening. So I'm just going to scan real quick. Excellent, good. Someone said they ate Christopher's cupcake.
I'd like to thank my cupcake sponsor, Karen, who provided a Guinness cupcake, which at the last rehearsal I received with great joy and delight. And because the rehearsal was a bit strenuous and had lots of things, I left it underneath my stool. And when Karen saw that, she gifted it to somebody else. Stephen should just sing the entire time. Let's hear that tenor voice. Leslie, Leslie, I'm in the room. I'm in the room. I ate Christopher's. Oh, Kelly ate my cupcake. Marvelous. Anyway, I was very grateful for the thought of the cupcake. Absolutely, definitely.
Sure, yeah, I can hop in. So that's very nice of you, Leslie. Thank you. So this first section, what we wanted to do is just give you some updates about what's happening inside TWC and update you about some of what's happening programmatically, what's the current status and what might the future look like. And we want to keep it light, so certainly you're welcome to let's keep the conversation going in the comment section. Oh, you've had Corner of the Skies and it's stuck in your head for days. Thank you, Laura. That's a great tune. I like that tune. So should we, I think probably Karen, yes, Karen for president of all the things. Probably what we'll do is give some updates to begin with.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Could I, and correct me, but could I start with some musical things?
Sure.
So in the best of all possible worlds, in terms of musical things, it is, of course, our very fervent hope that everything will be kind of back to normal by June. And when we get to June, there's every possibility that Beethoven 9 will be back on. Who's to know when the kind of lockdown in terms of the number of people who can rehearse? Who's to know when that will be not curtailed, or whatever the expression is. So I'm hoping we'll be able to rehearse at some stage. But Beethoven 9 needs to be our main focus at this particular moment. We need to absolutely be sure. So at some stage, quite soon, we'll be writing to you. We'll be asking you whether you've got a score of Beethoven 9. We'll be asking you to confirm whether you've done it before. We'll be asking you, if you don't need the score, we'll find some way. We'll either send you on an email and ask you to either read it on screen on your iPad or on screen or print it out. The plan would be, if I can get it done, though I am having difficulty printing on the machine today, I was planning to print it out and mark it up today, scan it and send you a scan. But at the minute, I'm being technically challenged, as I always say. We did, of course, think that we might get to Rachmaninoff, and that's sadly not the case. And then we thought we might tip The Future is Female a couple of weeks further forward, and that's obviously sadly not the case as well. The date we're aiming for is May the 11th. Is that a Monday? Monday, May the 11th. And that's the date we're aiming for. And beyond that, we think we might have a collective 80 people online, Stephen, 80 people. We might have a concert that might have a few of the movements of Rachmaninoff that we had done already. So I will provide a list of that so people look at it. We will hope that the people who had learnt half of the program of The Future is Female will do some of that. And we might even put into that program a couple of the numbers from St. Patrick's Day. None of that has been decided. We have no date for that. We have no venue for that. But it's our hope that sometime in May, if the rehearsal schedule, if the lockdown kind of idea stops happening, that's what we're aiming for. But our biggest hope is that we're aiming for Beethoven 9, and that we're going to spend some time over the next few weeks preparing people for Beethoven 9, especially if they've never sung it before. I happen to feel if you've done it before, especially if you've done it before twice or three times, the chances are once in your head, once in, never forgotten. And that's kind of important. We're going to organize language coaching. We'll either source an online source for the pronunciation, or we'll get somebody to do that for you. We're going to organize line sectionals using line tapes, if that's what you want, MP3s that you can click on and work on as well. So that when we come together, and we may only have a couple of rehearsals before we're supposed to meet Nozera, if and when we come together, we've done enough prep so that we're going to be as good as we can be. At the minute, if it goes ahead, it's still being recorded. There's been no discussion about the cancellation of that. And it is my fervent hope that we get to record it and that it's a great triumph and success. So that's the kind of short-term musical update. One or two people had also asked in the feed from Stephen's post early on today. One or two people had asked whether we could get some musicianship training. Catherine Pruitt, welcome. We could have some musicianship training, some tips on sight singing, and that's certainly possible. And we're going to look into how we might be able to do that. Now that we have more people here, one of the things that we probably need to remind people is that the general feeling from all those people who have been trying to rehearse online is that latency issues won't let us rehearse using Zoom or using Facebook or using any of the other kind of online things. People have huge difficulty with that. We haven't yet found a way. If anybody does have another choir that they're working with which has found a way to do that, if you would send us the details, send Stephen or myself. So it's Stephen at thewashingtonchorus.org or Christopher at thewashingtonchorus.org. Could we do some sort of virtual choir thing where we each record ourselves individually and compile? That's interesting. Eric Whittaker, my pal Eric, posted online recently saying that, not surprisingly, he's had thousands, hundreds, if not thousands, of requests for the explanation as to how he does his virtual choir. And he says he's working on some sort of document to share with people. It does require that somebody edits it. It requires that there's a click track, that everybody does it absolutely in tune, obviously, to the click track. And I don't know whether he then takes what people deliver and then auto tunes it. That might be useful as well. But I do think that might be don't forget the Irish sea shanty. Don't forget the Irish sea shanty. I'm not entirely sure what it's. I don't remember teaching a sea shanty, unless this is a play on words.
From the Game On show. From the Game On show.
From the Game On show.
Yeah, there was an Irish sea shanty.
The Irish sea shanty from the Game On show. Got it. Excellent. We can do it through GarageBand, but it's a ton of work. Thank you, because that's what we want. Extra work. You can do that through GarageBand, but it's a ton of work. Thank you, Karen. I may be on the phone. Have you got FaceTime or WhatsApp Messenger? We learned it for the Game On show. Game On show, Sam says. So that there's a huge delay. So that's the kind of musical update at the minute. Bobby, Stephen, and I are circling round. No sidebarring usually. Circling round to work out what we can offer in these Monday slots. Monday has, for 59 years, has it always been a rehearsal on a Monday? No, I'm not sure. That's not true. Anyway, Monday recently, definitely bring back the Irish sea shanty from the Game On concert. Karen Rappaport, how can we have a score for Beethoven who never performed? We plan to send you an email, plan to send you a PDF, William, plan to send you a PDF of Beethoven 9, and we hope you would print it out at home. And Kelly's telling me Mondays at least since 1995. I went for a walk yesterday with about 10 or 15 feet between us, with a very good supporter, wonderful supporter of the Washington Chorus. And we actually walked around where I live, which is quite close to the Presbyterian Church. And I asked him where the Washington Chorus had rehearsed in his time. He used to be a member. He remembers, of course, rehearsing at the Presbyterian Church. He remembers rehearsing at St. Anne's. And he also mentioned a school which was in the middle of Maryland somewhere, which seems jolly far away. So those were the three. Anyway, I'm going to skip aside now. That's some kind of musical update. If you have additional musical questions, kind of add them in now. I'm going to stay for another 15 seconds. Any additional musical questions? Then I'm going to step to the side. Stephen will appear, and we'll give you some technical, administrative, spiritual, social updates. Blah, 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 blah. And stepping aside. Is there a feather in your cap? Yes, there is. There is a feather in my cap. Probably Landon. Didn't it used to be? Yeah, that's it. Daphne's got it on the nose. It used to be the Oratorio Society of Montgomery County, apparently. Us young'uns wouldn't know that, but that's true. In fact, that's exactly what David said yesterday. It was the Oratorio Society. Okay, I'm stepping back. Stephen stepping in.
Hello. Thank you, Christopher, for providing those musical updates. So I think I just wanted to grab 10 or 15 minutes with all of you and just have a conversation just about what's happening with the organization and mostly turn it over to you for questions that you might have for me. And I know this time last week, we had just kind of a first shot out the gate with the Facebook Live, and we had about 30 or so folks. And it's just amazing, by the way, to see 85 of you here tonight, singers, maybe even a few of our board members here watching. Oh, yeah, I'm being reminded of the snacks that are available. So just want to say thank you again for creating this space and this time to share some community together. So again, the next 15 minutes really are questions from you that you have just about what's happening with management, administration, short, mid, long term. Happy to answer any and all questions that folks have about what is happening inside the organization right now. And I want to just acknowledge a few comments here. Madeline Toomey says, I hope you both and the TW staff are healthy, by the way. That's a very nice comment from Madeline.
Thank you. Healthy thus far.
Healthy thus far, yes. And certainly we are, staff are in constant communication daily, although all of us are working from home. And I think what I would just say there is, although from our understanding, everyone on the staff is healthy, and I've from what I understand, talking to singers, people seem to be doing well in our singing community. I would just say that you don't have to scratch too far right now to find somebody in our community that has been affected in some way. Probably all of us, even if we don't know it yet. But it is clear that with the rapid developments of the last week, there are members of our community, even if they themselves may be healthy, that their lives are being impacted already by this, as are all of our lives. So thank you, Madeline, for your concern. And again, we're trying to stay as healthy as we can and make sure that we're taking care of each other to the best of our ability. So Allison, hi. Catherine, hello. Great. I know we're hoping for the best WRT to programming, but I assume you're thinking of worst case scenario as well. WRT, what is WRT? Anna loves movies, so you'll have to explain perhaps what WRT means. With respect to, thank you so much. So Anna loves movies asks, I know we're hoping for the best with respect to programming, but I assume you're thinking of worst case scenario. Yes. So one of the difficulties in our position right now, and it's not only our position, one of the difficulties in the world that includes us is the difficulty of the uncertainty, right? The uncertainty of something that is changing day to day, something that feels like it's changing sometimes minute by minute. Our approach in management right now is to take a scenario approach and not only plan for what we hope will never be the worst case with respect to the health and economic impacts in our world today. So we have to think about those things and we have to plan for those things, but we also have to plan for other iterations, other scenarios that hopefully will be somewhat better, somewhat brighter than a worst case scenario. So we have to hold a few different scenarios in our head. And I was just on a call with other arts leaders in DC at 4 o'clock today. It was a 2-hour conference call with folks who run Forge Theater and Cathedral Choral Society and the Phillips Collection, and everyone, all of us in the field, all of us in the world are going through these same things and the same uncertainties. So it does create some challenges in terms of planning for the future, but we do need to hold a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different iterations possible for what the future might hold. Excellent, great. I hope that's helpful. Again, so the next 10 minutes, questions that you might have for me. I am certainly not the star of today's show. It is absolutely this man right here. But I'm happy to create.
It's a duo.
It's a duo.
Yeah.
Chris Devine asked a good question. Christopher, this might be for you. Chris Devine says, in the best case scenario, do we have enough singers for Beethoven 9?
We did have enough singers at the time of asking. So we were, I remember we needed 128. We always like to have, Bobby will confirm, we always like to have, let's say 134 or 135, because with work dues and everything else, things happen. When it comes close to the concert, life happens. So at the time of asking the last time, we did have enough people, and my understanding was that the balance was okay. So that is the, and perhaps in this current situation, Nozeda will understand that if he asked for 128 and we don't entirely get 128, then there's a very good reason for it. I'm hoping that by the time Beethoven 9 comes around, the craziness in the world has disappeared, or at least is receding. And so people feel able to come out, feel able to rehearse together, and then take part in the rehearsals with the orchestra in the Kennedy Center. Kennedy Center is closed currently until May 10th. So, and they'll be looking at that as we go. Is the NSO still optimistically planning for Beethoven 9? We haven't heard that they're not. The Kennedy Center is allegedly reopening on May 11th. So that's the current plan. I mean, no one knows. No one can make a promise. And no one can draw a definitive line in the sand. Certainly speaking personally, watching what's going on in my own part of the world, yesterday, for 3 weeks, Boris Johnson was shrugging it off and almost telling people to pull themselves together and just get on with it. And over a period of the last 10 days, he's been brought to order, and the World Health Authority and various other people have told him that he's not being tough enough. And my friends are telling me that back at home, although people are not supposed to be socializing and are supposed to be socially distancing themselves, people were out in the parks having barbecues and all this sort of thing. So there was an announcement later on, or earlier on this evening, where they've basically organized a lockdown in the United Kingdom for the next 3 weeks. So to answer the question, we are optimistically planning for Beethoven 9 because there's nothing else we can do. That's what we're planning to do. His TV speeches the last couple of days have been truly alarming, but in a taking it very seriously, scary way. Well, the first time he made a speech, he said, "I'm terribly sorry." He said, "A lot of people are going to die," was the first sentence he said. If Beethoven does happen as scheduled, have we answered the apparel question?
Not for Beethoven.
Not for Beethoven, or are we going with all black like St. Patrick's? It hasn't yet been discussed. Or if it's been discussed, it hasn't yet been decided. Could we reach out to other choruses if necessary to fill out the 128 needed for Beethoven 9? Needs must when the devil rides. However, I perfectly understand that we will get TWC lined up to do the business. Is the live performance of Beethoven 9 going to be recorded, or will the recording be made from separate studio sessions? My understanding is that they're recording the symphony live. And so there are 3 performances with 3 recordings. I suppose the hope is that after the first recording, they'll tell me that the chorus was a little awry here, and I'll tell you, and we'll rehearse it, and we'll make sure by the second recording it's not awry, and we'll kind of work things out as we go. Then after the third recording, which is a concert that's early in the evening, there is a patch session scheduled. And in that patch session, we would just sing exactly the pieces that needed to be fixed. That's the plan there. So, blah, 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 blah. Can you tell us something we might not know about performing Beethoven 9? Now, interesting. And Sarah, that's something Stephen's going to talk to you about in terms of the budget, in terms of staff salaries. We'll come to that in a second. Andy Gallant wants to know, can you tell us something we might not know about performing Beethoven 9? One of the things I'm planning for the session next Monday, which is to be about Beethoven 9, along with taking you through it and whatever, is to give some aspects of information about Beethoven 9. Why it was written, what Beethoven was thinking about, and indeed some of my own stories about Beethoven 9, some of which are hilarious and some of which are slightly shocking. There have been 1 or 2 slightly terrifying happenings associated with Beethoven 9. So I'm going to step back now here. Stephen, Sarah has asked a little bit update about cancellation impacting on the budget and staff salaries and blah, blah, blah.
Sure. Hello. Great. I was looking at everything recorded. Sorry for missing last week's Facebook Live event. Sarah says, any update on how the cancellations impact the budget? Will we be okay, in particular for essentials like staff salaries? Well, that's a great question, Sarah, and I'm glad you asked it. There are a lot of ways to answer that, and I'm going to try to give you the simplest, most direct response, which is that right now we're in the midst of really digging into not only our current position, but also what the short term, the next month or so, and then the longer short term, the next 3 or 4 months so looks like. There is no emergency inside the Washington Chorus today with respect to our cash position. I just want to be clear about that. There is no emergency inside the organization with respect to being able to pay our core staff salaries, being able to come through with our commitment that we've made to our professional musicians for St. Patrick's Day concert and for the Future is Female. And as some of you who tuned into last week's Facebook Live event know, we made a commitment to our pro corps singers and our accompanists that we would fulfill 100% of our obligations financially for St. Patrick's Day and also for the Future is Female concerts, even with the cancellation, because those musicians are a really important part of our community, and we want to make sure that we continue to support those musicians. So our cash position today is okay. We've certainly made a lot of improvements in the last 14 months, and improving our financial position has been one of our 3 key organization goals for this year: improving our financial position, increasing donor satisfaction and engagement, and the third being, oh gosh, I'm going to have a Rick Perry moment. About improving the chorus community, maximizing the talent potential of the Washington Chorus. That's the third. So I'm giving you a long answer, Sarah, but I want to give you some detail. And again, there's no emergency for us right now. The real uncertainty and the real risk comes in kind of the 3 to 12 month and beyond framework, because what we don't know right now, but what we don't know specifically, but what we know is coming, is some real economic pain, some real economic uncertainty. It's already here based on the market movement and activities the last few weeks. And I don't want to get too deep into that, but there's some real economic uncertainty that's here, and it's unclear how much that will level off, how bad it might get. And so that's what we need to plan for now, is we need to make some real changes, some adjustments, some evolutions, so that we are in a good place, not only tomorrow, because we can pay our bills today and tomorrow and next month and the month after that, but really 3+ months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months down the road. We need to make some adjustments now to be ready for that frame of time. I hope that's helpful in terms of answering your question. Great. A couple other questions came in. Laura says, any news from or communications with Eugene recently? So this is a question that came up last week. Happy to answer it again. Yes. So I talk to Eugene almost every day these days. The couple of updates there. So first of all, what Eugene is going through in terms of the impact on his life as a working musician is what every working musician is going through. It's a really hard time for working musicians today. And so I think the more that we can all stand with professional musicians and show our support for professional musicians, including the professional musicians that are part of our community, I think that's something that is really important for all of us to do right now. Eugene has the benefit of a tenured professorship at University of Michigan. And so that's a really important position for him right now. He is seeing and experiencing in his non-Michigan work what the rest of the world is seeing and experiencing. He is still very excited to be joining us. He's still planning to visit. The visit in May has been canceled. We had been working toward a visit for him in May. That's not going to happen right now, but we are working toward now a visit for him to DC in June. We'll have more details soon on what that looks like. But he's working through this as everyone is, and I'm updating him regularly as to what's happening inside TWC right now. And when I was talking to him earlier, he made a point just to say hello to everyone. He asked that I just say hello to you all. He looks forward to seeing you this summer, this fall, and beyond, and looks forward to the work together in the future. So hope that's helpful. Stephen Schwartzbo says the NSO's first recording on their own label was Copland's Billy the Kid and Dvorak's New World. It sounded wonderful. I agree, absolutely. And they do, yes, that is the engineering team and the production team they intend to use for Beethoven 9. Their director of artistic production and planning, Nigel Boone, who was on our search committee. Nigel comes from the recording industry, and so this is really a specialty of his, and this is an area that he knows quite well. So I know that we're all thinking good thoughts for the continued recovery, health-wise, economic-wise, that will allow us to get to June and be able to do that project. Welcome, Becca. Madeline, yes, thank you. Sarah, you're welcome. Wonderful. Karen, I hear you. Chloe, I hear you. Yep, thank you for that. Sarah, you're welcome. Great. Deborah, hearts to you too. Laura, terrific.
How many people now?
83. We've lost 2. But people are moving on to other things. So Madeline asked a good question. Is there any talk of relief for an organization like the Washington Chorus? We're back up to 84, by the way. Any talk of relief for an organization like the Washington Chorus in the congressional COVID bills? I've been following for work, but don't know the answer for us. Well, that's a great question. The shortest answer to that is 2 things. So one, it depends on what COVID bill you're talking about. Are you talking about Party A's COVID bill or Party B's COVID bill? And I'm not going to make any political comment about the bills that are being worked through in the Congress and Senate right now, except to say there's one party that is working especially to make sure that nonprofit organizations are included in the ability to access things like small business loans through the SBA. There's one party that wants to ensure that the nonprofit sector has certain types of protections and certain types of support during this period of uncertainty. So we'll know once those bills pass, and we're hopeful for a good outcome for workers and for employers in that respect. DC did pass last week, and it was the first non-state municipality, and maybe the first. I mean, they were way ahead of the feds, but DC passed their own relief bill for the District of Columbia. Mayor Bowser and the councilor passed a relief bill that does include opportunities for support through granting and through loans for the nonprofit sector. So that's a good thing for the nonprofit sector. It's a good thing for cultural nonprofits like TWC. They just released that information yesterday. So we're going, maybe even today. I'm not keeping track of the days very well right now. So we're going through that information and working toward understanding what sort of opportunities are there for us, either in grants or loans, and what is most needed by us at this time. So I hope that's helpful, Madeline. Excellent. Yes. Is there anything we could do as a chorus to reach out to our community, a way to build external community relationships at a time when the art may buoy people up? That's a great question. Do you want to talk about the role of choral music and community at this time?
Is the word buoy people up? Where does it say?
Buoy people up.
How
can we do that?
Is there anything we could do as a chorus to reach out to our community, a way to build extended community relationships at a time when the art may buoy people up? Well, the things we've been talking about are like these TWC Mondays, where we're talking about possibilities of continuing to learn, working on Beethoven 9. It has been suggested further up the suggestion that that we might try and do one of those virtual choirs. Technologically, that is a little bit tricky, I'm told. I was saying a little earlier on that Eric Whittaker did post that he'd had a number of requests as to how to do that. Karen mentioned earlier on you can do something like this in GarageBand, but it does end up being an awful lot of work. I certainly don't have the technical know-how to do that, so I would need quite a lot of technical assistance in order to be able to help that. And I don't know if anybody, TWC Mondays, yes, we like that idea. Hashtag TWC Mondays. And we did think that we thought that I can't remember where this idea came from. It was if it was with us or did we see it somewhere else? I know other organisations are doing it as well. Certainly with my National Youth Choir back in Scotland, the conversation has been with all the little choirs that are rehearsing there's one in Edinburgh and there's one in Glasgow and there's one in Dundee and there's one in Stirling, etc. 15 in total. Some of them rehearse on a Monday and a Tuesday and a Wednesday and a Thursday and a Friday. And for the days that they rehearse, we've encouraged them to do Google Hangouts on the day that the choir rehearsal, because we want to kind of connect with people in order to make sure. Does Nigel have the expertise? Does Nigel have the expertise to do what? His background is this is Nigel Boone at the NSO. His background is in the recording industry, but I don't think he's not necessarily actually driving the recording. He's not the producer, is he? No, he's not engineering or producing it. I don't think. Yeah. Does Nigel have the expertise? Yeah. Does Nigel have the expertise for the virtual choir? Okay. That's a very good question. We're writing that down this very second. And I don't think he's technical, says Alison. Okay. I did wonder about some of our, and I've seen this up until recently. I've seen people in the park around the corner from where I live doing an exercise and a singing thing in the park. So there's 6 or 7 moms with their walkers and their children in them, and they're singing to each other, and there's also somebody there helping them to do exercises as they're doing it as well. I did see that in the park. I'm not sure we're necessarily thinking about that as a TWC exercise, all turning up in the Presbyterian Church parking lot and singing to each other. Madeline, I just got a text from Do Tell. Did you see that Zoom choral concert? You should do that. You got that text from? Zoom choral concert. Zoom with an E. I think Zoom's not got an E. Did you see the Zoom choral concert? Who was doing it? Do we know? I'm told that Zoom, a friend just now, Zoom choral concert. The issue with Zoom is the thing that people are telling me is to do with latency. It's to do with it may well be that I'd be interested if anyone has got a link to that, if you would send us. My church is using that, but there's a lag. Zoom, the French version. Zoomé. I would agree. I don't know if anybody saw a picture of the British Parliament. It's a very small Parliament. There are more There are more members of Parliament than there are seats in the building. So normally at Prime Minister's Question Time, everybody's draped absolutely everywhere. Well, today at Prime Minister's Question Time, there was one, and then 6 feet, and then another one, and then 6 feet. It looked absolutely ridiculous. Will the chorus provide babies and walkers if we don't have them? Thank you for the marvelously intelligent level of questions that we're getting. That's Luke Wilson. I've learned I learned very quickly when I met Luke Wilson. He was a cheeky chappy. People are sharing your video recording of "I, the Lord of Sea and Sky" with the youth choir on Facebook. That was one. Ben Gitterman is providing babies because he's a pediatrician. That recording of "I, the Lord and Sea and Sky," if nobody's seen it, I'd love people to go and look at it. Basically, about 8 or 9 years ago, we had a wonderful idea. I thought it was a wonderful idea anyway, to fill a cathedral in Scotland with only boys singing. These boys were from the ages of 10 up to about 17 or 18. And they're from all of the various different regional choirs that the National Youth Choir of Scotland runs. And it was one of the most heart-rending moments. And it's wonderful to go back to that. Because you got all the little ones at the front in their white shirts going through the blue shirts, and then the tenors and basses at the back are the black shirts. It happened to coincide at the time that the Church of England was debating the activity of women priests and women bishops. And when that program was over, we were right roundly accused of trying to further the anti-women lobby by making the program with all these men singing. And it was very exasperating to read those criticisms because, as anyone will know, getting boys to sing is an entirely uphill struggle. It's something I've devoted a huge amount of my life to. And the idea that I might fill a church with boys just to snub women in the church was just exasperating. It was there not to snub anybody, but to celebrate those young lads who were singing and enjoying singing. Some of them, mind you, some of them are looking out the window as a boy tends to do. So if you haven't seen that, "I, the Lord of Sea and Sky," National Youth Choir of Scotland, Nikos. Absolutely very heart lifting. I'm delighted that people are sharing that. Stephen, time to come back. Time to come back for technical questions.
Technical questions. So it's about 8:22. So we've got maybe 15 or so minutes. Zoom call. I'm just looking churches using There's a Leg, Zoom A, Daphne Ree. People are sharing. Yes, of course, provide babies and walkers. No kidding. Good. Chris Devine, if we still have landlines, we could teleconference a performance or rehearsal. I know. Who has a landline anymore? So a couple of things in the last 10 to 15 minutes. So number one, Bobby will be sending to all of you tonight a survey. So this is a survey that we're asking you to consider taking a few minutes to complete because as is evident, I think from tonight, we're riffing a little bit. We're trying to, at least tonight, mostly just have a social space with a little touch of musical space in there and previewing what some of the musical pieces will look like next week and the weeks to follow. But this is a work in progress. So your feedback is so important. So please write us tonight. Bobby will send out that survey right after this is completed. Please write and let us know what you found valuable, what you would want more of, what you would recommend that we change or work on. We are new to this kind of distance learning, distance engagement piece, this virtual engagement piece. And we want to make sure that we're continuing to make improvements to it so that you're getting what you want, because ultimately this space is about you. This space is about having an opportunity for you all and all of us together to come together. So thanks for taking a moment to consider filling out that survey tonight. Christopher, do you want to do a few musical things?
I'm not sure that I do. You hold the musical candle here. People complimented your songs. No one said, "Christopher, what a lovely voice."
Well, you're not posting on Facebook. You're not posting bathroom and kitchen concerts.
I'm certainly not posting bathroom and kitchen concerts. No. What have I been doing that's non-musical in the last couple of weeks? Well, the people I live with are wonderful cooks, so we have been enjoying. What are the email addresses if we have anything to share with you? Christopher at thewashingtonchorus.org, Stephen at the marvelous Stephen at thewashingtonchorus.org. Is it Bobby at thewashingtonchorus.org or Robert? Robert at thewashingtonchorus.org. Thank you, Rebecca, for my lovely voice. Bring back bring back the hammer. Thank you very much indeed. So anyway, the people I live with have planned a whole meal plan, and they went out one day and gathered stuff at Costco and brought it all home and shoved it into freezers. And so we're kind of surrounded by whatever. I went to CVS and I bought a bag of apple chips. And when I took them home, everybody was absolutely horrified that I had spent $5.25 on a bag of apple chips, which actually seemed to only include one sliced apple that had been dried. And so for the last 2 days, we've been making apple chips in our spare time. Slicing apples, putting them in the oven for 3 or 4 hours at a very low temperature, sprinkled with cinnamon. Very tasty, work very well. The whole house, of course, smells like apple pie, so that's absolutely lovely. Something else we've been doing in the evening is we've been binge watching The West Wing. I adored The West Wing the first time I watched it. I discovered to my horror that the people I live with had never seen The West Wing. So I decided that we were going to binge watch it together. 5:30 in the evening, we sit down and watch the first episode. Then we have dinner, and then we watch 2 episodes more. And it's actually, for me, a lot more meaningful. Firstly, I see people driving around on streets I now recognize. I see buildings that I recognize. And some of the jargon that people use in terms of the Beltway and some of the political jargon that people use as well actually means a lot more to me because of the time I've spent in the United States. So I'm enjoying it for different reasons. That script is nothing short of miraculous as to how funny it is. Those shots that they do where everybody's walking through the White House and they're doing it fast and people move from one person to another. Totally miraculous. The thing deserved the 37 Emmys that it won over the years. And apart from some of the costumes, some of the outfits that people are wearing and the size of the glasses and all that sort of, some of the hairstyles, it hasn't really dated at all. So I really absolutely enjoys it. My girlfriend is currently cackling because she's trying to get me to watch The West Wing for months. I would seriously remind me to tell you about when the cathedral was going to sue the producers of West Wing. Ooh, marvelous. We need that story. Tell it now. Tell it now. Now, suddenly, Santos for president. Oh, dear. Christopher, you look thin.
Oh.
Well, okay. Thank you. I'm hoping that the thin is not pejorative. At least you didn't say skinny. Slim would be better, and trim is even better still. Basically, and I don't want to show anybody the pictures, but if anybody happens to have a picture that was in the program advertising the TWC Christmas socks, if you see a picture of me then, as I saw a picture of me, you'll realize that I looked at it and thought, holy faloli, I desperately need to do some exercise and lose some weight. And so I've been on a detox regime since the 3rd of September. I've currently lost 27 pounds. And I'm thinking I'm close to kind of stopping now. So anyway, I am slimmer. That is absolutely fine. I don't want to become scrawny. So please don't use that word. Not scrawny, slim. You can show, what are those? Oh, yes. Okay, here we go. CDs.
Yeah, these are CDs. So so one of the things I wanted to share with you all, we talked about it last week a little bit. We're going to start releasing some select archival recordings of the Washington Chorus that have not been released before. So we are working with David Graydon, who, if you've seen any of our terrific digital advertising or the digital ads you see on Facebook or Instagram, or the films that you saw at last year's gala. That's all the beautiful work of David Graydon, who happens to be a former TWC pro singer and the husband of Leslie Lewis. David is going to help us get some of these recordings out into the world. And so some choices that we're going to make. This is Sing Noel from the Oratorio Society of Washington under Bob Schaefer in 1996. That's a choice recording. Here's a new music for New Age with Elena Ruhr from 2011. A fabulous work. This is works of Marjorie Merriman and Felix Mendelssohn with Washington Chorus and Soloists from 2010 under Julian Wachner. Mass in Time of War, Haydn under Julian Wachner. This is a terrific one. This is the Berlioz Requiem with the Washington Chorus, Soloists, and Orchestra under Bob Schaefer from 2002. Some very cool things I've got in my hot little hands here. And one of the things beyond audio recordings we're working to get up either in the short term or potentially as we move toward our 60th anniversary season, which is next year, believe it or not. Don't forget, all next season, our 2021 season is our 60th anniversary season. We have videos. We have videos of TWC concert tours, 2002, a concert tour of Europe in 1998, concert tour of Italy in 2000, Grammy Awards broadcast from the year 2000, the year that we won the Grammy for the Britain War Requiem, previous TWC performances at Kennedy Center Honors. We want to get as much of this up and shared as possible, certainly in the next few months, and then as we look toward our 60th anniversary season. So, Allison, you ask a good question. I will sidebar with you on that question. You ask a very good question, and it's a usage question, which is a good one. Thank you for that. So we will definitely keep you posted on what we'll be releasing, how we can release it, how much, all those sort of things. So yeah, good. I'm glad that there's some excitement about that. It is 8:31. Christopher, what are you writing on the?
I'm not. I'm cleaning off.
Oh, okay.
Cleaning off all the marks you put on it earlier on. Stephen was playing tic-tac-toe on our calendar, which is on the blah 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 blah. Which Berlioz was it? Grand Mestimor.
No, Requiem. Berlioz Requiem.
Grand Mestimor.
Oh, yeah, that.
I said it in French. I said it en français. Is it the Grand Mestimor? No, it's the Requiem. Marvelous. Maybe they sang it in English. Love the idea if we can do it. So trim, so trim. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you. Marvelous. Thank you very much indeed. Wash your hands. Yes, I plan to. I actually touched Stephen's computer earlier on, and we've disinfected the whole flat, the whole apartment around it. Let's do the Berlioz again. Yes, that's not expensive to do. It's got an orchestra and 4 brass bands. Amen. Says Lewis. Is that amen to the Berlioz Requiem? Well, the Berlioz Requiem would be grand, but as I say, it's slightly on the.
Slightly more so than the your party piece.
Catherine, thank you very much indeed. We'll no, that's not true. Sean, what's Sean saying? Wash your hands. I will sing it with you, Kelly. I do a great tuba mirum. This is all getting very tuba. Veras bargenzonum persepulcra regionum. Marvelous. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, 83 people here. We're coming close to the end of our time, 8:33. Any further questions? Now is a good time to ask them. Beethoven 9 next week. I was referring to the horns. She's got horns.
So are you sending people an assignment in advance or some homework?
It would be, what a great singing voice. Thank you. Yes. I used to get paid to sing, not much, really? But I did you get, yeah, thank you. Yes, that's fine. Yes. Marvelous.
You're paid to conduct once.
What great singing voice. No homework. Alison Coombs says no homework. Alison, the homework I was about to give is people should maybe what I would like to say to the people who rehearsed Rachmaninoff is keep the movements that we rehearsed in your head. So if you want to keep looking at them, please do. Number one, there were about 7 movements. I shall list them in case you missed a rehearsal and don't know which we've done. So we'll send those. The future is female people. Keep looking at the ones we actually rehearsed. Nerds want homework. Homework will be provided. We can't really check you've done it or you haven't done it. Alison Coombs has done Beethoven 9 so many times and has done Rachmaninoff Vespers so many times that it will look like she's done it anyway. Kelly's done Rachmaninoff many's a time, etc., etc. We missed being together on a Monday. We missed the singing community. Wei Han is coming to the end of his quarantine. He came back from Sweden X days ago, and his quarantine finishes this Friday, the 27th. Is there still a plan to memorize Beethoven 9? No. So, of course, everybody's got tons of time at home. Maybe we should do it, but there isn't a plan. Maybe we'll put that on a separate survey and find out whether people could do that. The beginning bit and the end bit is fine. Alison Coombs, thank goodness. Rebecca Bridges, boo. Rebecca, you can memorize it if you want. There's nothing to stop you memorizing it. And then you can do that thing. You can close your score and look very clever. Some of us are actually working. Really? Of course. Listen, Stephen, I still get working texts from Stephen
at all hours.
At all hours of the day and night. Do we have a quarantine is over song?
That's a good question.
Rebecca Bridges, I've done it 4 times already. Listen, I've done it. I've done Beethoven 9 more times than I care to think about. And one of the things about Beethoven 9 actually is the chorus usually goes, especially if it's only been a year since they've done it, or 2 years, the choruses that I've worked with go, oh God, not Beethoven 9 again. And then when it comes to the week of the show, it's such an exhilarating piece to sing that people kind of forgive all the highness and all the kind of, oh my Lord, and the sitting around waiting for an hour before they sing. Jessica Lichtenfield wants to sing I'm Free from Tommy the Musical. Yes, some of us are working. Of course you're working. Puts a gold star on Rebecca's head. Marvelous. Is a gold star a euphemism for a no, it's not. Okay. Thank you for working, Ben. Well, of course, 100%. We must thank all of the medical professionals who are looking after us, and think of the ones who are doing it and putting themselves in the firing line. Very interesting post yesterday. Sam Zhao posted about the problems of masks and gloves and all that equipment and the stresses and strains that are put on the staff with the shortage of masks and the shortage of gloves as well. So it's interesting when you read it in the newspaper, but it's even more pressing when it's somebody you know, somebody you see on a Monday night, and you know that later on in the week, they're putting themselves in a very difficult position. So thank you, kudos and sincere gratitude to all the medical people who look after us. Thank you, medical professionals. For Weihan, Jessica, what does she want to do with Weihan? Gary wants to sing Rachmaninoff second movement. Okay, that's fine. We'll do that for you. Stephen and I are going to start the wind up. The number's going down. Stephen, only 78.
Oh yeah, I think we're getting past time. I'm going. Oh, are we? Yeah. Oh, there we go. So it's about 8:38. I don't know if we said it was 60 minutes or 75 minutes or what. If there are other questions, other things that you want to say, that you want to ask while we're here, we're happy to do it. I think Christopher's teed up what next week will look like. So more information coming from Bobby about what next week will look like with Beethoven. I plan to, if you'll allow me to be, can I come to that rehearsal?
To the Beethoven next Monday?
Yes. Oh, I had signed up to sing.
Yes,
I had signed up to sing. Yes, so I passed my re-audition. Yeah.
I think Bobby will let us know whether Stephen actually attended a re-audition.
Yeah.
I've touched all this chocolate,
yeah,
so I'm going to
take it home.
I'm going to take it home now because apparently I'm looking thin.
So we're already getting a lot of gratitudes and thanks. Glad it was entertaining. Glad it was informative. Thank you for joining us. Next week, a lot of music, rehearsal, information, history, context, rehearse from home. thank you for joining us. Thank you to all of you who are singers, board members, parts of our community. You are the reason that we are continuing to work so hard every day and to try to navigate this ship in a difficult time. So thank you for sticking with us. We look forward to seeing you next Monday. How is it? Does it taste like Porto Vallarta?
No.
Okay. So.
It's not the best or indeed the worst chocolate I've ever eaten.
You're very welcome. Not the best or the worst. Good night. You're in out. That's 6 feet. 6 feet. 6 feet. Thank you. Thanks so much. We appreciate you. Send love and gratitude. And we will see you next Monday night for TWC Mondays. Ciao. We're waving goodbye. We're saying goodbye to folks as they leave. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
What is it? So long, farewell.
Let's see the number.
Adieu.
Let's see like the
See
farewell
ya.
symphony. Let's see
And
let's see the number going down. 72. Is that what it looks like? Is that what it looks like in the? So they can only see this backwards.
I don't know. You think I know the answer to that?
Can you see this forwards or backwards?
They're singing. People are going.
What about that? Can you see that? Forwards or backwards?
Goodbye.
You too.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
We can read it, marvelous.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. What key is this in?
The key of silliness.
The key of strangeness.
The
Only
key of strangeness,
57.
57.
It's like
going
people,
down.
It's like people are fading away in front
Wayne's
of us.
World.
It's like when we get to the end of the rehearsal, I say, "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed," and it's like whoosh.
Yeah, this is like where the credits are rolling. It's like it gets
Yes.
weird. These are the outtakes.
Na 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 na. I should have brought my ukulele.
With that would have been amazing. You could play and I could sing.
Yeah.
Or you could sing also.
Well, people prefer it when you sing.
People prefer it when you conduct.
Well, we haven't seen you conducting.
I conducted one musical. When I was in, so if you were going to peg me to conduct one musical, what would I conduct?
Well, it was probably in the 1960s, was it?
It was.
Really? When was
This is
it?
2001.
2001?
2001.
What age were you?
I was 21.
21. 2000.
Yeah, 2001.
I
was born in 79. 79. Thank you.
21.
What music? So is that?
Are you a millennial?
Thank you. No, I am not. I am technically a Xennial.
Oh.
I'm X meets millennial. Xennial. XENNIAL. I'm a Xennial, just for the record. There are a lot of guesses. What musical did I conduct? This was at Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
Oklahoma.
In 2001. I conducted one musical at MIT in 2001 because my conducting teacher was Simon Carrington.
Oh, right, okay.
My conducting teacher was Simon Carrington at NEC in Boston, and with his permission, I was allowed to go out and test out, and it was terrifying. But I conducted Anything Goes. You're not impressed by that?
I'm hugely impressed.
When the olden days, a glimpse of stocking was so dark and so shocking.
Have I just eaten
well,
some
now God knows.
Each piece 95 calories. Anything goes.
Yeah, it's a good nice show. It's a nice show. Cole Porter.
Why? Falsettos. You made that up.
No, you made that? No, I did not make that up.
No. The Gen X on the cusp.
No.
I made that up.
No, Xennial is a thing. Look it up.
Stephen wants to know how your tap skills.
My tap, look.
He doesn't drink.
No, but I'm from a family of dancers. My grandparents, Flo and Heston Bedoin, and before, Flo and Heston and Mabel before Flo. Mabel and Heston, and then Flo and Heston had a dance studio they founded in Palo Alto, California in 1929. that they built with their own hands called Bedoin School of Dance, where rhythm is our business. And Christopher is very impressed by this. And so they taught, Heston was a hoofer. They taught tap, they taught jazz, they taught ballet, they taught in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, they taught etiquette, they taught poise, they taught all sorts of things. So yes, I can tap dance. I can do a time step. I can do all those things. That should be a live auction package. Is the after show closing down? We're down to 30. Well, then who once knew better words, now only used for letter words, writing prose, anything goes. The world has gone mad today, and good's bad today, and black's white today, and day's night today. And most guys today, the women prize today, are just silly gigolos. And Heston was a hoofer is the best thing I've heard today. Thank you, Paulie. Now we're down to 28. Video proof is needed. Need to go watch last night's Curb. I have to stay until the bitter end because I was late because of a conference call. This is when it gets really interesting. This is when it gets really. Are we saving this for public consumption?
It is being recorded
for private consumption.
People can click onto it and see it for years and it forever and ever.
Cole Porter was very cheeky. He was very kind of Randy.
Cheeky?
He was like Randy, not Randy. He was. I'm sorry, that's not the word I meant. He was very.
This is TWC.
He was very. He was very bright.
He was very naughty.
He was very naughty. He was
and he had.
This is what's another good Cole Porter song? Night and day, you are the one. Da 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 da. TWC After Hours, witty. Need help, Christopher? No. People came back. Did you see this? People came back.
Oh, it's gone
down to 24.
It's gone down to come back.
The night is young. Blah 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 blah. I don't know lyrics, but blah 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 blah. It's delightful. It's delicious. It's lovely. I understand the reason why you're sentimental, because so am I. It's delightful. It's delicious. It's lovely.
Where is my shepherd's crook?
My battery's running low. Okay, we gotta go. My battery's running low.
10,
I hope you enjoy
9, 8, 7, 6. Thank you very much for coming. 2, 1. See you next Monday.